Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be doing a brand review of Angelwax.
Lil guns down, lil guns down, lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, hitting kinda loud, singing all the time.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the third brand review of the series and we're featuring Angelwax. So the first question to answer is why Angelwax? And it's kind of selfish reasons. I'd used kind of a few of their products over the last 12 months and the brand caught my eye and those products caught my eye. You know, they're really effective products, kind of products that I like to call class leading, if you like. And encountering those products made me want to go out and take a look at the rest of the range and made me want to kind of review the brand. So as always with this video review series, I approached Angelwax. They didn't approach me. I told them what I wanted to do. And we agreed on kind of like a subset of the products because this isn't their full product range. It would be a lot more products on the shelf. There's only so many you can do in kind of one brand review. So we agreed on what would be a good range of products to feature here. And the next part is me taking those products, using them, and then kind of feeding back to you what I feel about them. Okay, so just a little bit of background info about Angelwax. It was founded back in around 2009 by John Hogg and Matthew Yates. Now John had kind of got into wax brewing and had been commissioned by another company to formulate them a wax, okay, to take to market. So John worked on this wax, created the wax, and then for whatever reason this company pulled out. John was left with obviously a product that he was very proud of, put a lot of time in, and then decided to take it to market himself. And then Angelwax was born with their first kind of wax formula, Angelwax #1 if you like. And from then they increased their ranges of waxes, then added other detailing products like your kind of soaps, your detergents, and then other forms of sealants until through to 2017 where we are now. They've got an entire range of kind of detailing products, and as well as just being available in the UK, the Angelwax brand, if you like, has grown and is now generally available all around the world, and we'll include some links in the video of where you can get those Angelwax products from depending on whereabouts you're located. Okay guys, so we're going to start off first with the soaps and the kind of pre-washes. So we have three products in their range, okay? We have the Angelwax Shampoo, we have the Angelwax Cleanliness, which is a citrus pre-wash, foaming citrus pre-wash, and we have the Angelwax Fast Foam, which is a snow foam. They also have in this range a self-drying shampoo. They have a product called, I think, Blue Rinse, which is like an after-wash rinse to kind of add a layer of shine and help remove any water from the kind of washing process. They also have a matte paint shampoo. And I think that's most of their, they have a bug remover as well, I believe, but that's most of their kind of washing kind of detergents and soaps and pre-wash products. So first up is the Angelwax Shampoo, guys. So this is a non-detergent and non-surfactant based shampoo. That's the first thing to understand. So it's a more of a traditional kind of skin safe soap is the way that John described it to me. It's highly concentrated. It's gel-like, okay? The recommended usage guidelines are around 2 to 3 caps of this per bucket of water, okay? And if you're using the huge 20-litre buckets, you can up the dosage accordingly, maybe up to sort of 4 or 5. I was using one of those large buckets with about 10 litres in it, and I think I put about 2.5, 3 capfuls in there and got a hell of a lot of suds. And again, I always use a little booster bottle as well, so a quick squirt of it in there. The product is pH 7, okay, so that's around pH neutral, so it's safe on existing coatings. The product doesn't contain or leave it behind any kind of waxes or anything like that. It's kind of what they class as a pure shampoo, so it's there to clean your car, and then you go on and do separate activities afterwards, okay? The price of this product is $7.99 for 500 millilitres, and they, as with all these Angelwax products, they give you kind of like a resale size version, so like a standard size version, and they give you a bulk buy option. So with this particular product, it's the 500 ml offering, and then they do for $7.99, and then they do 5 litres for $39.95. Okay, what's to say about this shampoo? Okay, so first thing is it foams up beautifully. Okay, you get a hell of a lot of foam, almost to the point where you don't need to use the booster, my little booster bottle where I put some in to load up the mitt. There was so much in the bucket I could almost just use the foam off the top of the bucket to kind of get it on my panels. So that I really like. I love to see that the shampoo is high foaming. Okay. The shampoo comes off of the car beautifully, okay, so again, you don't want that kind of white residue left behind. Sometimes when you rinse off certain cheaper shampoos that have got, you never know what's in them, but some of them you kind of know they're bulked out with some things that aren't helping you, you know, and they can kind of stain, almost leave those soap stains behind. This rinses off beautifully, and it kind of ties in with what John was telling me about the shampoo, that it's kind of just a stripped down, pure concentrated form of soap. That's the approach they've taken, rather than the kind of surfactant detergent based. So it's a pure kind of product, and I saw that when I finished shampooing the car and I rinsed it off, and I just stood back and kind of went over the car. It cleaned the car really well, and I did it thoroughly. You know, I went over the car thoroughly with the brushes and the mitts, you know. But it just took a light rinsing to get rid of it. So this shampoo is a great product, and at $7.99 for 500 ml of concentrate, it's good value as well, and that's going to last you a fair old amount of time if you stick to the dosage kind of levels that they recommend. Okay, next up is their snow foam, fast foam. So the thing John told me about this snow foam, it's slightly alkaline, and that not massively alkaline to the point where it's going to affect your coatings, but slightly alkaline with the purpose of that an alkaline, if it comes into contact with oil, will turn that oil into a soap. So it has that slight alkaline characteristic to help get any of the grease and kind of residue off of your car. Okay, now let's just talk about the price. So this is $8.95 a litre, $21.95 for 5 litres, which is pretty good value actually. I'd say it's a little bit below market average, especially at the bulk buy. 22 quid for 5 litres, that's a good price. 9 quid for a litre is roughly what they are generally. There are cheaper ones out there, there are more expensive ones out there. Super concentrated, you use it at one part product in your lance to 9 parts water, okay? So that's 10% product, 90% water. Now I found at the concentration level they recommend 1 to 9, I found it was quite thin, and even if I put my lance up to top whack, it was still coming out quite thin. So you can adjust it, you know, to personal preference. I'm always a little bit worried about doing that in case they know something I don't, and when they formulate it they usually do, but I just like to see a little bit more whiteness in there, so I just upped it probably closer to 1 to 8 or something like that to get a thicker layer on there. Another thing, okay, they recommend you put this on your car and leave it for 10 minutes. One thing I noticed about this product that I hadn't seen before with I don't think any other snow foams, normally when I plonk them on my cars and I leave them, they run off, okay? They run off quite quickly. This one sticks around, okay? You get a bit of runoff, you know, it's still a soap, it's going to come off the car. But after the initial runoff, the white kind of soap, or whatever you want to call it, stayed on the panel almost for the whole 10 minutes. So when I come to rinse this off after 10 minutes, it was still there. And that's something that's different to other products that I've kind of noticed with the other ones. After 10 minutes, most of it's gone and you've got the odd bit of soap. So I like that. So I know that the product is going to be sitting there kind of doing stuff for the full time rather than just slipping off the car. I don't understand why. There'll be a chemical reason why. Okay, next up we have a citrus pre-wash. Okay, so it's called Angelwax Cleanliness Concentrated Orange Pre-Wash. Okay, so this is a water-based product which can be safer on any coatings on there as opposed to some of the solvent-based products that are out there. Okay, it's high foaming, which is really nice from a citrus pre-wash, because it means you can use them like a snow foam. Okay, you can put them in your lance, you can spray them on, and you get the foam, and you can work that foam into the kind of dirty areas. Okay, so solvent-free, we've already mentioned. Wax and sealant safe. There's different concentrations you can use it at, all the way down from one part product, 1 part water for really heavy soiling and degreasing capabilities, so potentially on your wheels, all the way down to 5 parts water to 1 part product for kind of light soiling. Now, what I would say about this product is, and you know, I've only been using it for a couple of weeks, but what I'd say about it is, for me, it's more potent than the foam at removing kind of road film and grime, and it's quite hard. It's quite hard to kind of judge that, but just from what I've seen, I think this removes or breaks down the kind of road grime a bit better. And I don't know if that's, well, it's something to do with the chemistry, that it's more of a kind of degreaser sort of formulated product as opposed to a kind of alkaline soap-based product. And again, we're getting to grey areas for me, but I preferred cleanliness to the snow foam, and usually I'm more of a snow foam guy than a kind of foaming pre-wash guy, but I really like this product, cleanliness, so that would be the one out of the two that I personally recommend. But if you're in the market for a foam, that will still serve you well. But if you haven't ever tried a citrus pre-wash and a foaming citrus pre-wash that you can use, and you know, road film on your car is something that you get a lot of when you're doing your maintenance washes, check out Angelwax Cleanliness. So first in the glass cleaning range is that standard Angelwax glass clean, which is called Vision. Okay, so you use this product for the interior or exterior of your glass, and it's for removing kind of contaminants, dirt, grease, grime, any silicone that's on there, to give you a squeaky clean, product-free glass. The product costs $7.99 for the 500ml bottle, and there's a bulk buy option where you can get 5 litres of it for $34.95. Now I've done a bit of glass testing before with the one of the PVD mega tests. I think it was probably a couple of years ago, where I think we took 6 products, blind tested them, a whole load of people blind tested them, and then tried to determine which one we liked the most. I think everyone agreed it was quite a hard thing to judge. But one of the things, some of the characteristics that I could notice that were different about them, okay, so flash time, some of them flashed away far too quick, because I want to spray it onto the glass, work it, okay, and get a chance to kind of get that product over the dirt with the first microfiber, whatever your choice is for that, something a bit coarser I like, and then come back with a second microfiber, a very short nap terry cloth, something you're going to be working hard, that's going to be sticking to that glass. So you don't want anything too fluffy, because it's going to pull all the fibres out of the microfiber. You come back and then you kind of scoop that product just as it's flashing away, and you kind of, the aim is to get all of the crud that's on your glass off there until you've got a squeaky clean surface. Now, from doing that blind testing, I found there were a few that flashed away too quickly for me, but the one thing I didn't want to see is products that weren't effective at actually breaking down that grime, because then when you come back to remove them, they haven't fully broken down that grease or whatever it is, so you end up kind of pushing it around and getting these smears on the windscreen, which is the last thing you need. And that draws me to the first point about Vision. Okay, I think this could be one of the most powerful glass cleaners I've seen. It gets up your nose a little bit. Whatever they're using, the solvent level in this, I think is, it's always dangerous to try and guess the chemistry, but I think there's quite a lot of solvent in this, and whatever solvent they're using is quite potent, because it can get up your nose a little bit, but I don't care about that. I care about how it cleans my glass when I've got gunk on there that I want gone. I just want a nice clean panel. And I really like this product, okay? I recommend it. And glass cleaners, there's a lot of good ones on the market, there's a lot of ones that are usable, but there are a few weak ones out there that are, you know, more or less a load of water with some IPA thrown in there and a bit of kind of liquid soap or whatever. I think this has been well formulated, and I think a bit of care and attention has gone into the formulation of this one. Definitely, I mean, left the glass on my Beamer, which is an old Beamer, which is not the greatest glass, but it left it absolutely squeaky clean. And I think that is really important if you're then going to go on to apply a dedicated sealant afterwards. So we'll move on now to the next product in the range, and we'll talk about the sealant a little bit later on. Okay, so I was really interested to see how this product performed. And the reason being is because I had a little moment with screen washes recently, okay? If you look at my built Hamber review video, you look carefully on the front of my BMW, you will see I've lost a washer jet cover. And I lost that and spoke to BMW and said, why has it come off, you know? And it was in the middle of winter, freezing cold. And what they said to me was, if you use a really cheap screen wash, they're not well formulated, they don't have the right amount of antifreeze in them. And what happens is, in the cold winter, the water that sits in the end of those pipes on the outside of the car, you know, is the bit that gets the coldest, and it freezes. And then when you go to use the car next and you turn your jets on, that water pushes against that ice, and that ice just pops the little jet off the end of the kind of nozzle, if you like, and you lose your little washer jet and the cover plate, and you have to go and get another one and get it painted. So he said to me, you know, you need to get yourself a decent screen wash. And I thought, yeah, he's not wrong. So I was really interested in this product, you know, or this class of product for the first time, because of my experience of going budget and using the old JML one. So I've come up with a solution now for that JML product, and I'll show you the solution in a little cut here. There you go. A little bit of fun there. But that is gone, that is in the bin, and I'm now using this, okay? Because I had to get that little thing resprayed and I had to buy another one. It ended up costing me about 50 quid to fix that. So I don't want it to freeze again and pop off or lose the other one. So for the rest of my life now, I am going to actually start using better quality products in my screen. And not just for the freezing thing, but for also some of those cheap, nasty products leave, you know, they've all got a bit of soap in them, so they will put some soap on your car that you'll see. But, you know, this stuff, when you're washing your car, it just rinses off. That other stuff just seems to get everywhere, okay? And it's just cheap, nasty, you know the word. It isn't good. You know, you pay a couple of quid, you're not going to get something that they've thought too much about. That's my opinion, okay? Another thing that's really important about this product is it's been formulated, as well as to do all that cleaning stuff and keep your windscreen good and not freeze, it's been formulated to help maintain and support the sealant product that we're going to talk about next, the H2go. So at the moment, I'm really loving using a premium screen wash. Now, just in layman's terms of using this for the first time, I've dosed up at 9:1, okay? So I'm using 500 ml to 450 ml of water roughly, which is a reservoir full. That's the 9:1 autumn spring dose, okay? And it seems to me, you know, that's a bit risky doing that, because, you know, there's not as much product in there to stop the water from freezing. But we've had some really cold days now. We're right in the end of January at the moment, and it's freezing, and I've had no problems with those jets icing up and popping off since, okay? So I think the thing I'm learning is 4:1 must be really concentrated. So just from using it, I could be wrong, you know, you learn more the more you use them, but 9:1 seems really effective for me, and nice and kind of foamy. I'll overlay a picture of it in use, but it seems a good concentration level, and that's important because at 9-to-1, if you can get away with that, you're going to use half the amount of product at 4-to-1. So the tight arse in me likes the fact that I can probably get through winter running it on that ratio, and then when I get to summer at 19-to-1, I'm going to hardly use any product. So if I go and buy 5 litres of this product, I'm definitely good for a few years. And I tell you what, if it stops me losing another one of those panels on the front of my BMW, then it's, it's well worth it. And it's not expensive, 25 quid for 5 litres of concentrate. So this could be a product that you really want to think about. So finally, in the glass maintenance range, we're going to be talking about Angelwax H2go. So this is a dedicated glass sealant that you use on all external glass surfaces to provide a kind of hydrophobic, water and oil repellent seal. Let's talk about the price. This 100ml bottle of the product is £5.95. This will last you a long time, by the way. You do not need to use much of this product. Literally one squirt on an applicator, and that will cover at least half your front windscreen. One other squirt for the other half, and then one squirt per each door panel again. So you can get around your whole car in about 8 squirts. So, and that, once you've sealed your car, that's going to last you a fair old amount of time. So if you want to try it out, 100ml is a lot. They also sell it in 250ml, which is 12 quid, and 5 litres, which is going to be enough to do one of those gigantic industrial greenhouses. 5 litres for 120 quid. So first up, let's just talk about the practical things. So how do you use this product? So first of all, you clean your glass, you get it squeaky clean, then you spray this onto an applicator, you work it in circles to get all the coverage over the panel. Okay, you leave it to dry for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you buff it off. That's the quick directions of what you do. Now the important things, okay? Whenever you're going to apply a dedicated glass sealant, there's a few things that can go wrong. The first thing that can go wrong is you don't clean your glass properly, or you don't even clean it at all, and you just sling it on there. If you do that, you're going to run into problems. There's going to be grease and stuff that are going to affect the ability of this product to bond to your glass. And if it doesn't bond to your glass, or you don't allow it to cure properly before you buff it off, what will happen is when your blades hit it and start working it, the product isn't going to be cured. The solvents that are in it are going to be all mixed in with the grease, and you're going to have one mucky mess on your windscreen. Okay, and I know because I've done it wrong. I've done it wrong. I do lots of things wrong, and I've messed this up a few times. I think I've got it nailed now. So the first thing is you need a good glass cleaner. They recommend obviously you use it with Vision. So do I, because the one thing that I can tell from their glass cleaner that I talked about is it's powerful. Okay, so it's good at stripping down and getting you a squeaky clean glass surface. The next thing to do that's not always talked about and mentioned, and it's my big tip whenever you're applying a dedicated sealant, get your wiper blades off of that glass. I know that's pretty obvious for when you're cleaning it, and just get those blades absolutely squeaky clean. Okay, so however you want to do that, use a concentrated kind of APC on them, or a concentrated degreaser, or the cleanliness product would work well. You scrub them, get all that black grime off them. Sometimes you just scrape them first, get a toothbrush, whatever you need to do. Bin them if they're gone and they're starting to crack, and get a new set of wiper blades. But get a squeaky clean set of wiper blades, clean them more than once, and when you think you've got them clean them again. Even sometimes, I know people say you shouldn't use solvents on rubbers, but I think if you're just doing this once, a little bit of striptease when you think you've got them clean at the end, with just a little bit of microfiber, just to give them one final wipe down so they're squeaky clean. So you get where I'm going, get your wiper blades clean, because that's really important. Now, then you apply the product, okay, so one squirt on your microfiber, or maybe 2 to prime it if you've got I was using quite a fluffy microfiber pad, so I gave it a couple of squirts to get it going. And then just work it around, okay, and get it all over the windscreen. The next really important thing that I mentioned before, give it the full time to cure. So it says 10 to 15 minutes. give it 15 minutes, you know, give it the full time that they tell you to, because they know all about the formulation. Remove it with a clean microfiber. Don't use the microfiber you've used to clean your glass. You want a squeaky clean microfiber as well. And then you buff it off, okay? Now, one other really important thing is, if you really want to make it extra potent, they talk about using 2 layers in here. If you double layer it, you really do, you notice the difference between 1 layer and 2 layers. And you'll notice the difference in repellency, and you'll also, I think, notice a difference in how long it lasts. So I recommend, you know, if you're going to apply this, do the proper preparation, apply it properly, and apply 2 coats of it. And if you do, you will notice, you know, you'll know about this product. You'll notice it every time you clean your car. You'll see all the water sheeting off the glass, and you will notice it when it rains really heavily and you're driving along. You'll see a lot of the glass, a lot of the water flying off the glass, you know, from the sealant. Like I say, if you use this product correctly, it works really well, and I think it's one of the best glass sealants on the markets that I've seen. So next up in the range, we're going to be looking at the Angelwax interior cleaning products, okay? So first in that interior cleaning range, we're going to be looking at Angelwax Absolution, which is a specialist carpet and upholstery cleaner. So this product is $6.99 for 500 millilitres, $34.95 for 5 litres. It is ready mixed, so you don't play around with the concentrations and add more water, okay? So it's formulated to be used straight out of the bottle. So when you're using this on your carpets, like in your car, they say you can spray it on and work it and just leave it. It doesn't need to be kind of rinsed away or drawn out or even sort of padded out with microfiber. So that's kind of quite cool. So if you've got any like stains in your carpet and you want to spray it in, give them a scrub, you can use it for that sort of stuff. When you've got mud kind of in your, you know, that kind of, as you get in and out of the car, the bit you clip your feet on always gets covered in mud, and your pedals, all that sort of stuff. I even gave it a squirt on. I had a bit of leather I needed to clean. I just wanted to see how potent it was at getting that built-in grime that was sitting on top of a bit of tan leather off. Now they have a dedicated leather cleaner, Heaven for Leather. So you should always really use leather cleaners rather than APCs for cleaning your leather. But you know, just for the purposes of me seeing how potent it was, I wanted to just use it there, and it just took that dirt off straight away. Okay, so in layman's terms, what can I tell you about the product? It's quite foamy, so when you spray it in, it foams up, especially when you work it. Again, it can get a little bit, if you get a whiff of it, you can kind of know about the strength of it. So again, I think it's formulated to be on the potent side, which is good. That's how I like them. Its deep cleaning is probably the best way I could describe it. I don't know if you can use it on external things, you know, use it on your tyres and stuff like another APC, but it's formulated as an interior carpet and upholstery cleaner. I used it on my, I also used it on my, what are they called, foot mats that had all that kind of brown mud stains in it from where you get digging and grinding your heels in there, and it got them beautifully clean with just a gentle kind of bit of brushing on there. So I was pretty impressed with this one, Angelwax Absolution. Okay, so next up is Angelwax Angel. So this is a water-based, silicone-free interior plastics kind of dressing product. Interior vinyl and plastic restorer is how they describe it, okay? It's $6.99 for 500 millilitres, and it's $34.95 for 5 litres. Some other technical things about the product: it contains UV filters to help. You know, the main thing is on dashboards, when the sun's beating down on them year after year, it can fade all that stuff. So it's got the UV filter technology in there to help maintain the finish, you know, long term, as well as just provide gloss. It's doing more than just that. It's a matte finish, okay, which is really important. You know, there's some cheap products on the market that have got a bad name for themselves, and they will cover your dashboard in slime, okay? And you know, it's shiny for sure. They tick the shine box, they do that, but they also attract dirt, you know, like nothing else. You know, all the dirt sits on there and builds them up, and they're still there like weeks later, and you know, you've got to wipe them all off, and it's a grease fest. You don't avoid products that are like that. So this is kind of like something you put on which almost dries, gives you a matte finish. gives you protection, gives you shine. It's been formulated to be safe. What can I say about this? So what can I say about this in layman's terms from using it, okay? They say use it with a microfiber applicator. It works really well with like a little puck microfiber applicator that you can kind of get into all the places on the dashboard and stuff like that. You do not need to use a lot of product. Once the microfiber pad is saturated, okay, and you can feel it's damp, this will just keep going and going and going and going. You can top it up a little bit, but it will just keep going. So this product here, 500 millilitres, is going to last you a long time for sure. So the cool things to get across this product is, one, don't use a lot of it. Once your microfiber pad is primed and it's got the product there and you can feel it, you know, you're there, and it will just keep going and going and going. You will see it bring a little bit of depth to the darkness back. You will see it bring some gloss back. Allow it to dry as well, okay? It'll take a few minutes to dry off, and then you will feel a kind of matte. I'd say it's a little bit shinier than matte, maybe satin. It gives some gloss, you know, which is good. But the most important thing is obviously Angelwax know what they're doing. They haven't just, you know, thrown some silicone in there, and it's not just some grease fest, you know. It's a proper product, this. The other really important thing for me to get across for anyone watching it is this bottle of gel will last you a hell of a long time, okay? You know, 5 litres of the stuff, you will struggle to use that in a few lifetimes unless you're cleaning a lot of cars a day, which I know some of you are, but so 5 litres, 500 millilitres, hell of a lot of product. I like this one. This is a really nice product to use, and it lasts well, okay? So Angelwax Angel. So next up in the review is Angelwax Elixir. So this is a rubber and vinyl dressing, okay? So the cost of the product is $7.99 for 500 ml, $39.95 for 5 litres of it, okay? You spray it on, you mist it onto your applicator, and you just quickly work it around your tyre, and it's really easy to work. It's really thin, okay? It's not like a sort of slimy gel. It's like applying milk, and it spreads very well. So you don't need to keep applying it to various bits of your tyre and then work that for a little section. One misting will go all the way around your tyre easily, okay? As long as you get a good amount on there, but 1 or 2 sprays will be plenty, okay? So that's another thing, this will last you a fair old amount of time. You don't have to go throwing loads of it on. So it's a water-based one. It's a water-based dressing as opposed to a solvent-based dressing, and it also cures and bonds onto that rubber. Now, what are the advantages of that? So with some of the other dressings that I've used for tyres that are slicker, that are perhaps slightly greasier, definitely higher gloss, that's the advantage of those other formats. They're higher gloss on application. But those glossy ones tend to attract dirt, and dirt sticks to them. And then the next time you've got to do your maintenance wash, all that dirt is embedded into that dressing. And the only way to get the dirt off typically is to scrub and then go over it with a microfiber, and you end up with all this black gunk on your microfiber, and then you need to kind of reapply. With this, what I find is, you know, you can see the tyre repelling water when you kind of just, after you've applied it, you know, you can test it. I'll overlay the thing, it throws the water off, it's bonded onto the surface. So the next time you come to clean your tyre, you just use your citrus cleaner will be fine for cleaning, you know, the tyre, or some APC, or however you clean your tyre. You'll find that you can just clean that tyre with a brush and a little bit of your whatever product you use, and then rinse it off, and you'll still see all that stuff repelling, and then you're done. You haven't got to redress it. So it's kind of different from other. It's different from other offerings. Other offerings are all about kind of, or can be all about, giving you shine. This seems to me more about putting an actual sealant on the rubber. And it does help. There's a darkening effect obviously on application, you can see that in the pictures. There's a bit of a new look kind of gloss, but it's not high gloss. But its number one thing for me is it helps keep the tyre easier to clean after you've applied it during those maintenance washes. So I really like Angelwax Elixir. And again, I might mention this, the amount you use is tiny. So 500ml, again, is going to last you a long time. Literally 2 mists first of all to get your sponge going, and then after that, just 1 squirt and it will do a tyre easily. So definitely cool stuff. So another product that Angelwax kindly sent over, this wasn't in the original range, but they threw it in there, and I'm glad they did. This is called Alchemy, okay, and it's a metal polish. So, you know, typically you'll use this on any metal surface that you want to bring back that doesn't have any kind of clear coat. Some of the roof trims on cars can be metal with clear coat on them, but any bare metal surface that you want to improve the look of, you can use this on to polish it. Typically it's going to be exhaust, isn't it, okay? But sometimes people have bare metal alloys or other bits of metal trim on their car that they want to polish. So I just threw this onto the old what's it called, the leaf wheel that I use on the drill to polish cars, and I went over my car with it. What I noticed about it that's better, so I typically, you know, I'm not someone with a strong opinion on what the best metal polish is. I've always just used Auto Sol or those other ones that I talked about in my other exhaust cleaning videos. This seems a bit thicker than those and less prone to kind of flying off the wheel, which is nice. But it also got a really good, brilliant shine back on the exhaust. Okay, you can see it. The exhausts needed a bit of touch up since I did them in that video probably about 6 months ago. And this stuff works beautifully, okay? So you slap it on, you work it, and it brings back that real brilliant shine to your exhaust. So that was a little surprise thing for me, just to have a play around with their metal polish. It's a really solid product and it will deliver you results, okay? Okay guys, so next up I want to talk about the Angelwax wax and sealant kind of protection range, okay? So there's a wide range of products, and it's never going to be possible in this video piece to go through each of all of their waxes and sealants and review them all, because they have got sealants for everything. They've got a metal sealant, they've got a bilberry wheel wax, they've got a spray wax called Corona, they've got Dark Angel paste wax, Desirable, Drift, Guardian, Halo, synthetic wax. They've got their Angelwax Formula 1 that I've got here. They've got the Fifth Element, which is a high-end durable wax, and they've got their new ceramic wax Enigma out. Okay, so we had to take a subset. So let's start with Angelwax Formula number 1. So the first thing about this is it allows you to have a look at the Angelwax range at an entry-level price for a wax. So it's $29.95, which is what some people won't pay a lot of money for waxes. You know, some people will. I can understand why now, having used tons of them, why there are ones that are cheaper and then ones that are expensive. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But this is their kind of entry-level wax, their first formulation. Now, the first thing to understand is it is a natural kind of wax blend. So it contains natural waxes, a balance of probably multiple waxes with carrier oils, with solvents. Okay. Now, we've messed around with waxes on this channel, and I've been trying to make one for donkey's years now, and it's kind of going okay. When you make these waxes, you know, after you've got over the initial shock that you actually got something that works, you discover there's all sorts of things that can go wrong when you're blending these, and those things that will go wrong will manifest themselves in your end product. And I've just made a quick list of them. You can get shrinkage of the wax in the pot, and I see that kind of a lot, where you pour it in there and later on, as the wax shrinks, it separates from the container and almost rattles around in there, and there's a big like gap. Okay, you can get collapsing, where you don't stagger your pour and you pour it all in, and the outer edge cools more than the inner edge, so you get this kind of divot in the middle sometimes when you're using them. It kind of collapses when you're trying to, you know, get the wax out the tub. You can get separation, so sometimes when the blends don't all mix together well as they start to cool, you can get some stuff floating to the top. You can get bubbles of products which aren't able to blend in there. You know, like I get that when I use too much limonene. I tend to get bubbles around the edges. But sometimes when I've played around with stuff, I've had horrible crud floating on the top, and I've seen it with other waxes. Okay, you can get cracking if you don't put enough, if you use a real hard wax like Montan, for example, and you don't blend it with enough soft waxes or dissolve it properly, it can crack and your wax can be over brittle. On the flip side, you can put too much oil in them and your wax can be like greasy and leave smears on the car that just won't come off. On the flip side of being over greasy, you can have ones that are under oiled and over waxed, and they're too hard. There's too much natural wax in there, and that makes them difficult to get out of the pot, get onto the applicator and apply. Okay, and they can be a bit of a pain if the blend isn't right. So those are some of the things that can go wrong, and I see them. Like I've said, I've seen them going wrong in quite a few waxes that are out there, and they're not the end of the world. The wax still functions, but the first thing, you know, it's a long way. I'm trying to get to the point here, and the point is these Angelwax blends, all the way through to Formula 1 and all the other ones that I've tried, don't have any of those problems. So by the time John obviously had to start at some point blending these waxes, you know, you start with your first blend and then you keep going till you get something you're happy with. But he's got something here that doesn't exhibit any of those potential things that can go wrong. So in other words, the craftsmanship or the blending skills that are on display in this Formula number 1 are really good. It is like, when you open this product up, it is like a freshly kind of laid ice rink where you just see this flat layer of beautiful wax, and when you go to apply it, it comes off in your applicator and it applies beautifully. And that is what you get with forensic, I'm blowing myself up a bit there. That's what you get with Formula 1. You get a very well formulated natural wax blend, okay? Now, the downsides are with the natural wax blend, as I've said before, you put them on, they can be beautiful to use, they can be well crafted, but they won't offer you the durability that the products where they've used more expensive synthetic components to enhance some of those other characteristics that you want from a wax. This doesn't have them in. And the first thing I noticed on my test panel, because we put all these products up there on the test panel, we used an abrasive cleaner on the test panel, then some of the Striptease Angelwax's one, got panel completely clear, and we applied these section by section and then got my test panel outside sitting there in the weather. And the first wax, or the first product of all these Angelwaxes to start tailing off its performance is Formula 1, and it will be. You know, it's the cheapest one in the bunch, and it doesn't have any of those added kind of products to improve performance. So what you'll get from this wax is an introduction into what Angelwax do at a good price, okay? The gloss on application is fantastic, and how the wax behaves, how it applies and how it removes is brilliant, okay? So I know John, he knows what he's doing when it comes to blending waxes, he really does. And I'll overlay some shots of it so you can see what I mean about that kind of ice rink finish where the wax is perfectly blended. So the next wax we're going to be reviewing in this section is Angelwax, the fifth element, okay? So this wax is £110 for 250 millilitres. One thing I didn't say earlier is you can buy sample sizes of all their waxes in 30 millilitres. So if you want to try something and not have to pay the full price, it's always a good idea to get a little sample pot like this, and you can do a few cars with that and get an idea of how good it is. Okay, so this wax is supposed to offer extreme durability, and that's durability beyond 6 months. It's also supposed to offer a high gloss kind of show shine, okay? All waxes should do that, but it's kind of a durability wax with really good gloss is the way I kind of read in between the lines, if you like. Now, when I first had this in my hand and I'm kind of looking at it, I couldn't get over the £110 price tag. I was kind of thinking, you know, before I'd even tried the thing, I'm thinking this is going to be this wax is going to have to be really good to live up to 110 quid, because it's a lot of money for a car wax. I mean, 250 millilitres will last you years, it really will, if you get 6 months out of an application. So that might set you up for life, this pot. So it's not that much money if the product's good, but a lot of people won't go near anything that costs £110 for a car, you know, a car maintenance product, if you like. What's the first thing I noticed about this wax? Okay, so when I laid them all out on my test panel, I noticed something about this wax, and the thing I noticed about it is it was slightly wetter looking than the other products, okay, and it also felt, when I went over the panels and I'd laid them all out, I'd left them, you know, I'd buffed them off, let them cure, and then came back a day later and I had the panel inside and I had a look at it. This one, the panel where I'd applied this felt really smooth, okay, really, sometimes you can even get a bit of drag off wax, but this was like glass. It had a silky kind of feel to it. I don't know if the part of the sales of this wax is that it's got a mysterious ingredient, you know, that we're never going to know what it is, but it's got something in there that's a little bit different, that's special enough for them to name the wax after it. And I wonder if that's got anything to do with that kind of caring effect that I could feel on the panel. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed about it is, as I'm testing these waxes to see how they hold up to weathering, because waxes can tail off in performance very quickly if they're out in the open, okay? Literally, you know, you have to wash a wax sometimes when all the contaminants, this airborne stuff falls on the wax. It can deaden all those hydrophobic qualities and the gloss, and then you have to wash them to bring them back to life. Now, so the second thing I noticed was that those properties, the water repellency and everything on this, are way beyond the Formula 1, okay? It's holding on to its characteristics longer, okay? So there is something in there providing durability, you know, an additive that's locking that wax in and fortifying it. So there is stuff in there. This isn't just another natural wax blend. The next thing is moving on to applying it onto the car, okay? The wax is a doddle to apply, okay? You scoop it up, you just a roll, you twist your applicator around, a foam applicator in there, and it will just pull enough wax that you need to do that kind of quarter of a bonnet easily. And then you just work it on however you like to do it, up and down, in circles, whatever. Get it nice and thin and get it on there. You do not have to worry about this wax curing hard. It says buff it off after 2 minutes, which is cool, so you haven't got to wait, kind of go away and come back 10 minutes later and then have some sort of hard haze. It doesn't cure hard, so you just buff it away and it's leaving that wax behind, and I suppose over the next 24 hours it will continue to kind of bed down or cure as more of the solvents vaporise. So it's very easy to apply. The next thing, or the fourth thing, okay, that I want to talk about is, so I was guilty of having to shoot this video. So I'm there trying to, with the tripod, and I've got it on the car, and it's a YouTube detail, you know, I'm trying to video at the same time, which is always a nightmare. So I plonked it on my car, and I'm getting the footage and everything like that, waxed my car, and then I'd come back in and filming and forget about it. And the next day I went out in the M3, and I was in the petrol station filling it up. And the bloke behind the counter said, "Cool, your car's clean, mate." And I looked up and I looked at it, and this thing under the lights of the petrol station was popping like nothing I'd seen before. So it really does give you a nice wet look finish on this. I try to keep it real on this channel because all waxes will enhance the finish of your car and they all look good, but this gives you some serious kind of gloss. Okay, so it's a really good wax. I have to keep it real, like I said, the 110 quid thing will just put some people off because they won't be able to afford that. It's a lot of money. I'm a bit uncomfortable paying £110 for a wax, but I really like this so much, and I'm glad I got to test it for the review. Knowing what I know now, I think I would pay 110 quid for this. It is that good. And like I said, the added bonus is it holds on to its characteristics longer than most other wax blends that you'll see. And I don't know how he's done that, because he's managed to do it in a way where you haven't got that horrible dry curing going on, which you sometimes see. So the fifth element is definitely an impressive product. If the £110 puts you off and you want to try it, then like I say, don't forget you can pick up a sample of it, which is a fair old amount, for 20 quid. So that might be another option as well, if you're one of these guys with tons of waxes but you like the sound of what I'm saying. One other thing John told me about this wax, it's also formulated to work really well on top of ceramic coatings. So ceramic coatings are prone to holding on to those or getting mineral deposits and water spots. So this has been formulated as well to work with ceramic coatings to reduce that. So that's a kind of another cool feature. So that is Angelwax, the fifth element. So the next wax in this review is the Angelwax Enigma, okay? So this wax is a new wax to the market. It's only been released a few months ago, so we're at the start of 2017 when I'm filming this. I think it came out at the tail end of last year. Now I was lucky enough to get my hands on this in the PVD wax mega test, okay, and I didn't know anything about Angelwax Enigma, didn't know what it was. And when I had all these waxes lined up here and I started playing around with them and applying them on my car, two of them really stood out for me, and I said in that video review, Fireball Fusion and Angelwax Enigma just stood out from the crowd, and I didn't know they were ceramic waxes. And then I kind of, you know, because there's so many and there's so much information, and a lot of them claim to have SiO2 ceramic additives, okay? But these two are different to other waxes on the market. Now let's just talk about the basics. So this wax is 180 quid for 250 millilitres. So it's a lot of wax, but it's a lot of money, okay? 180 quid. There's no getting around that. You can pick up a sample of it for 45 quid, a 30 millilitre sample. So as always, that if you're not sure and you want to have a play around with it for less money, you've got that option there. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the chemistry of these waxes, okay? And I was really interested about this. I wanted to know if putting a ceramic additive into a wax, how it worked. Is it a gimmick? What's it offering you, and kind of what's it doing, and why does it make your wax superior? Now, I already know, or I already formed the opinion that this wax was superior from having it bench tested against all these other products and me seeing it, and I didn't even know it was a ceramic wax when I first had them all laid out there in front of me, okay? A lot of them were claiming to have SiO2 in them and all that sort of stuff, so it didn't stand out from the crowd. For me, I wasn't sort of looking at it thinking this one's going to be good, it's got ceramic in it, because a lot of them were claiming it. But it stood out from the crowd when I actually got it on the car and saw what it did. So the way I described it was a turbocharged kind of wax that all the repellency characteristics, the gloss characteristics were incredible, okay? You know, the durability was incredible. You wouldn't know, you don't have to do anything special with how you apply it, just apply it like a normal wax, you know, and it goes on and goes off beautifully. It also seemed to make getting the car cleaner, you know, easier. So the next time you've been driving it for a week and you've got all that road film over there, just seems to come off the car a little bit cleaner. Those were my thoughts on it, and I just kind of wanted to understand how it's doing it. So I was on the phone to John, and you know, I asked him that question, and I've got a pen in my hand and I'm waiting for the answer and desperately trying to write down what he was saying. And he started going into it and kind of explaining that from a chemical level, and again, I've probably got this completely wrong, but from a molecular level, kind of if you go right down to the nuts and bolts, the waxes of kind of, he said to me something about, if you imagine a load of pentagons and a load of hexagons, I think were the shapes he used, they don't all fit together exactly, and there's gaps in them, okay? And this product is smaller than those pentagons and hexagons and kind of fills in the gaps, if you like, at a molecular level. And that's what I took away from it. I've probably got that completely wrong. But it creates a surface that's less porous, if you like, so it's easier to maintain. It's kind of self-cleaning. So that's the first thing that I took away. So the next thing I want to talk about is the actual ceramic additive that they're using, okay? So there's a lot of products out there that are jumping on the SiO2 bandwagon, if you like. It's a good box to tick marketing-wise if you can say you've got an SiO2 product, a ceramic product in there. And lots of waxes will tell you they're ceramic, okay? You can get waxes that will say they're ceramic wax and they're 50 quid and they're cheaper. So why is this one so expensive? And it's to do with the actual ceramic they're using. And basically there is one ceramic coming out of a certain country over in the Far East that have a patent on a particular polysilazane resin, okay? And that product, they are the only ones that make it, they're the only ones that are allowed to make it, they're the only ones that sell it, and it's used in all sorts of other coatings for, you know, architecture and stuff like that. And the killer thing is, you can only get it from them, and it's bloody expensive, okay? And I think John told me the price tag of this, which is ridiculous, and it will stop most people that want to play around with it, you know, ever playing around with it, because of the price you've got to pay and the minimum orders of what you can get. So you've got to be serious about your wax making to be able to go and obtain this and use it. And it is the stuff that is used in the majority of those ceramic base coatings that are out there. Okay, they are the only people that sell it, this particular company. So a particular polyxylazane resin. There we go. So this particular product is using this, let's call it the full-blooded real ceramic additive that is out there, as opposed to some other forms of SiO2 that are not the same thing and are as nowhere near expensive. So that's a really important piece of information to get across in this video. And I know the price of that additive, and I know when you break that additive down into 25 millilitres or 50 millilitres or whatever quantity they're adding in there, it introduces a significant cost. So the two waxes that I see that I think are using it are significantly more expensive than most other waxes on the market. There is no getting around that. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the chemistry and the ceramic additive making the wax less porous, and those hexagons and pentagons and all that stuff that goes way over my head, but I know it's true, okay, because I can see the end results. We've talked about why the wax is high-end and the quality of the actual component, the additive that you're using in there, the full-blooded ceramic. We've talked a little bit about why this wax I think is superior to other products on the market, to do with how it holds on to its performance, and I'm seeing it on the test panel. I'm seeing it after 3 weeks that it's outperforming the other waxes, even the Fifth Element, okay, which is holding up well. It's a robust, durable wax. This is still going like it was the day I applied it. So that initial tail off that you get with waxes that can be a bit of a disappointment. You know, they look great on day 1, great on day 2, day 3, not so sure. You know, you give them a wash, it revives them a bit, but then a few weeks later you're almost feeling like you need to top them up. That's your traditional kind of waxes. You don't get that with this. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. To cut a long story short, I put this as my kind of #1 product in the 2016 Video Review Awards. It's out of all the products I've encountered over the last year, and I've encountered a lot, reviewed a lot, you know, we must be over 50 waxes, high-end, low-end, durable, natural, you name it wax. We've tried it on the channel, wax. This is my favourite wax that I've used to date. It is just epic. It's so good, okay, and again, I talk about keeping it real on the channel. The price tag is going to be a problem. It's a problem for me. It's going to be a problem for a lot of people. Not that you necessarily can't afford 180 quid, but you know, a lot of people won't want to spend it on a car wax. And all I can say is, with how long it lasts and how much you have to use, if you buy a pot of this and it's a 250 millilitre pot, it's a big pot, you're done. You're done. Your car is going to be, you know, it's going to be years and years you're going to be using this product and getting the protection out of it and all those extra features that I've talked about. So in terms of the price tag, I think it is worth every penny of £180, and I can't say that about many car cleaning products. Maybe some of the machine polishers and stuff that you pay a lot of money for, but for me to say it for a wax is a tall order, and that tells you what I think of it and how good it is. This is an amazing product. Okay guys, so we've now been through the full subset of products that I've had in there for this review. So I want to just now end the review with my kind of summary and thoughts on Angelwax as a kind of brand and what they're doing. So first of all, they have a full range, okay, with some of the other brands that I've featured, which are fantastic. There's been gaps or missing products that I kind of almost wish they had to be able to complete and give me all the capabilities that I want as a guy that's really into kind of cleaning and maintaining and protecting my car. There are no stones left uncovered in their range, okay, and some of the things I haven't featured that they do, they've got their own fallout remover, reactive fallout remover. They've got their own wheel cleaner concentrate. They've got their own dedicated leather cleaners and conditioners. They've got a much bigger range of waxes there that I haven't talked about for timing issues. So they've got a complete range that's very, and you know, if you're close to the detailing scene, you will want those products that are on offer. The next thing, the really important thing, the best in class box, okay, and I've made a note of what I think here stands out to me as being best in class, okay. Now the first thing is the waxes, okay? That is the foundation of the company. They started making waxes. I think they have the best single wax product on the market in Angelwax Enigma. But from what I've seen of their other wax offering, the foundation of the blend is really, really solid and well formulated. So that gives them a platform to then go on and kind of develop waxes and explore different avenues in terms of what they want to do with that wax. And they are really, really solid waxes, okay? Some of them are expensive, unfortunately. That's just the nature of the beast. They're high end, they're high quality, they've got expensive ingredients in there. But the whole range varies in price through to their original Formula 1, which is good value at £30. So there's something there for every price point, all the way up to what I believe is the best wax on the market in Angelwax Enigma. Next up, their glass cleaning products. Vision, in combo with the Clarity Screen Wash and that H2go sealant, is all you need really for your glass cleaning needs. Vision stands up for me as being one of the most potent kind of effective glass cleaners at really getting that glass squeaky clean and breaking down any grime and grease and all that horrible gunk on your windscreen. It's really potent. Clarity is a much better quality screen wash in my opinion than the old JML budget ones that don't do anything for you apart from throw mess all over your car, okay? They're cheap for a reason. This isn't expensive, but it really will help maintain the products, the sealant that you're using underneath. And finally, that H2go sealant, durable, easy to apply. You know, you get the repellency, you get the results, and it's good value for money considering how concentrated it is as well. So H2go, their whole glass range is pretty formidable. The third thing, I've already talked a lot about it on this channel, is the Angelwax QED. A fantastic detailer spray that just does everything, and it does it all for not a lot of money, which is always nice when you get good value out of product. Those three were kind of like the obvious choices. Their waxes are so strong. I was always, you know, it was inevitable we're going to be talking about them a lot. Same with the glassware products. They're well known for the H2go. It's popular. And also QED, it was an easy choice. There was a couple of other products that stood out for me, and I really, you know, I hope that watching the videos kind of caught your interest in them because I think they're excellent. And I made a note of them. The Elixir, the wheel sealant, is something a little bit special, a little bit different. The Absolution, the interior upholstery cleaner, really powerful, really high foaming, really effective. Deep cleaning was the note that I made here. Cleanliness, the foaming citrus pre-wash. That really is effective at getting that road film off your car. Makes a great wheel cleaner as well, you know, when for your light maintenance washes, and you can use it at a higher concentration if you really want that deep cleaning. And Angel as well, the interior trim kind of vinyl dashboard dressing, you know, for all the interior bits. That's a really nice product to use. It's so easy to work on the microfiber, on a microfiber applicator. Just rub it all around and then that's it, you're done, and it lasts as well. So that really caught my eye. There's some other little clever products. The metal polish is clever, it's effective. Corona's a clever little product. Ti22, a great primer, great base coat sealant if you like, because it's so quick to use. Lots of things. I've really enjoyed looking at the range because you never know until you get your hands on them and play with them if the brand is going to live up to all the kind of good things you hear. It really has, okay? The whole range is good, but I'm trying to pick out things that have really caught my eye. You know, really caught my eye as being a little bit different and really high performing. Some of those ones I've mentioned are superb. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again shortly on the Forensics Detailing channel.